Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching the N-Word for Nerd podcast. Remember to like, share, subscribe to Headcanon Circus everywhere on YouTube, Facebook, Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Again, Headcanon Circus everywhere. And if you do it on YouTube, please remember to hit the bell so you can be notified when we post. So we have I Trapped the Devil. I believe it's 2019 film. So the synopsis here. Hoping for a joyful family reunion, Matt and his wife pay a surprise visit to the home of his estranged brother, Steve, to celebrate Christmas. To their shock, they soon learn that Steve has a hostage in his basement, a man he claims is the devil. All right, welcome back, everybody. Yep. Got that out the way. Nice and smooth there. I'll start off here. I Trapped the Devil is in the details because this movie doesn't want you to focus on any details. They just want you to enjoy what is working out in front of you. I feel like when you start questioning parts of this movie, it falls apart. But a lot of the times, if you're questioning parts of this movie, it's because you haven't bought into the premise. As I mentioned before, how I wish that Night Teeth was a bottle episode. This was a bottle movie. Like, you pretty much have three characters, not including the devil. Or the gentleman trapped behind the door.
Whether he's the devil or not, we don't know.
Right. It has to work. This movie relies on their shoulders, and it has to work in that work because of them. The part that I think hurts this movie a little bit is like these three people aren't the best actors. And that's where sometimes the movie hits me a little harder because if the acting was better in this movie, I feel like this movie would have been one of the greats because of the premise and how they break it down from scene structure to how they play with the tropes of is this mental health? Is this real? Oh, crap. Is this real? Is it the devil, though? Oh, crap. It possibly is. So he wasn't crazy, but is he going crazy? Is it because of the devil? Is it because of symptoms of mental health? Like, you play with a bunch of questions here that are pretty dope. If the acting was stronger, I think the emotions and it would have resonated a lot better, I think, if the acting was better. Even with that said, with the acting not being the greatest, I thought everything they did to pull you into this movie works. One of the bigger things they do to pull you in this movie, I thought worked almost should be a masterclass, is the music in this movie. Mm-hmm. If you listen to the music, you even hear through the music the banging on like wood or something as if it's the door, but it's just the music playing in general scenes to put dread into it. That's just smart. That just adds an extra element to like, is this what the guy Steve is hearing? Because you hear this racket all the time. Because even he had moments where he was seeing things and visioning things. And so is this the music we're hearing? Is that what he's hearing, that constant beating? It was a lot going on here. And I do like the fact that they didn't harbor on the past trauma that was going on. They kind of alluded to it, but they didn't make that the focus of it. The focus still was, hey, homeboy got somebody up in his basement. Mm-hmm. What the hell? Like, they did try to do some myth building with how this book about the devil and look at the crime rates, the 1% crime rate. And that's what I liked about it because they gave you enough to say, hey, we kind of thought about this, but don't waste your time on that. Let's just keep moving right on along. Let me show you something else in this other room. So I did admire that. Outside of that, man, I felt like the movie was well done. I just feel like the thing that was missing was, like a movie like this, you need an epic performance. You need to leave this movie thinking such and such acted their ass off in this one. It didn't happen, and I think that's what lets down the movie for me. But other than this, man, I kind of dug it, man. What are your thoughts, Jason?
All right, so I got some notes, and there are a lot of this movie, some white people shit right here.
I'll give you that.
So, firstly, if my brother says, "Yo, I got someone locked up in the basement," I'm like, "I love you, bro. I'm out of here. I'm just gonna leave. I ain't telling nobody. I'm not gonna snitch, but I ain't staying. We're gonna get back in the car and we're gonna drive away, and we ain't gonna talk about this ever again. And we ain't coming back. We're not gonna sit here and have this ethical debate about whether or not he's the devil or not. No. I'm just gonna be like, you do you. I'm out. I don't want to be involved in this whatsoever." I love how in these horror movies, like, people just be snooping around people's houses, like, This is your first time here. You're just gonna be under people's beds. He has a gun upstairs. Well, he lives here, so he can have a gun upstairs if he wants. I mean, this is America. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed this movie. It is definitely like there's nothing that is scary other than the premise that these people don't know that whether or not their brother is insane or not. And as the movie progresses, I mean, we know that he's probably telling the truth, but like they don't know that. But like it's also really cool that he's also is insane. Like,
yeah.
Going crazy.
Yeah.
Like he is insane. There's no doubt about that. And like it's just like a cool, like just a dramatic sort of like well shot sort of movie. Yeah, the acting isn't great, but like I feel like that works for me because it wouldn't be this polished sort of thing if you were dealing in this situation of your brother has kidnapped a person and he's downstairs locked in the basement. You're not going to be all like, oh, this is Cambridge. The Horatio, I knew him well. You know, it's going to be some terrible moments in that. I kind of feel like once they take the cross off the door, and now you hear the person start to talk to them, I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's the devil. Because we didn't hear him. We've been in his basement for like 5 minutes, and he didn't say shit to us. But once we took the cross down off the door, he starts talking to us. Yeah, it's the devil. You're right, brother. I'm still going to leave. You got to deal with this on your own. But I believe you, but I'm going to leave. Because I don't know why I would stay around if there's either a kidnapped person in the house or the devil. I'm not going to hang around for this shit. I'm sorry to all my brothers. I got a lot of them. I love them, but I'm leaving. And I will hope they will leave me too. If I have a person in my basement. But yeah, other than that, it's not a scary movie, but it is a tense movie. And I especially really enjoyed the ending when you see what's inside the box. It's not a human head.
What's in the box? Yeah, I'm right there with you. Josh, your thoughts on I Trapped the Devil?
Well, you're right. It's some white people shit. Because if it was my brother, I probably would have stayed and tried to like figure it out and help him out. And once they took the cross down, though, I would have been out of there too at that point. Unfortunately, my daughter was just causing like the biggest ruckus when I was trying to watch this, and I couldn't really just put myself into the movie. But it was that kind of movie where you got to just like be in a quiet room and everything. So I didn't get the full effect of the movie, and I missed the last 5 minutes of the movie, which I mean, I don't know what was in the box.
It's not a human head.
that I know now. I'm gonna have to rewatch it, but definitely good at building tension and dread, which I love. I also didn't have a problem with the acting. Sound design, music, everything was great. Yeah, pretty much everything you guys said. It was a on-point little movie, and it achieved what it was trying to achieve.
I will say this. My wife did, because she was watching it with me. That's how I know that it was a pretty good movie, because she doesn't want to watch any horror, but she sat down and stayed in there. She did hit one thing to me that kind of what she said, and I was like, huh. She was like, how the hell did they get that thing in the basement anyway?
I was thinking that.
I was like,
you lure the devil.
You're right.
Bits of cheese. You put it in there. And the devil's like, cheese, I love this. And you shut the door behind him. Gotcha.
So my thought, okay, we'll go into a quick spoiler convo on it just because I have a thought on that. So we're going to do spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My thoughts were, whatever trauma had happened with them, I'm thinking like the mother or the parent, whoever owned that house, because it was handed down. Remember, the brother says we both have this is both for our house. Like, so I'm thinking, yeah. I'm thinking the mother trapped the devil somehow and did all this stuff and put it up. And then when she passes, he probably was going to inherit it or clean it up or whatever, and realized this was what's going on in the basement. Probably took the cross off and then heard homeboy start talking and stuff. And was like, oh shit, and put it back on. And that's what going. Still doesn't explain how it trapped, but I felt like that's a better explanation of how we got to the moment where we see it. It's like they think the tragedy. My wife thinks the tragedy, whatever happened in the home, was related to the mother, and the mother had trapped the devil back there, and she passed away from insanity because obviously homeboy was starting to go insane, and that's how
the devil in the basement.
Yes. So that was my theory, and I was like, that was part of my wife's, and then I kind of expanded upon it, and I'm like, that makes probably the best sense I can think of, because other than that, and then also, the thing, if Jaren was here, shout out to Jaren, that's how much we miss and love him. We know the first thing he would have been like is, how does the devil know how to open up the door? So, because at the end of some point you had to sneak him in there and lock all that stuff up, like without him just busting through the door. So.
I'd imagine since the cross has him subdued, you don't hear him when the cross is up on the door. Like using that would probably have pushed him into the room, and then you were able to close the door after you've used the cross. But I'm also not a religious person, and also like wouldn't the devil light the cross because that was used for human crucifixions? I don't know. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Again, remember I said to my review, don't think too much about it because it falls apart.
But also, I mean, like, do you think, like, was this thing sort of inevitable that they were going to have this conflict because of his mental illness, or was it all the devil's doing? Do you know? Was it because at the end, the wife ended up believing the brother Karen, which I thought was it because Karen's the one sleeping around here, like saying, "Oh no, he's motherfucking crazy," and then she goes, "Oh no, he's telling the truth, but I don't know what to do about it."
Right.
He felt it too, and then I think the other brother's name was Kevin or Mark or something generic.
Yeah, I think it was Matt.
Matt. I think it was Matt. Yeah, he was the one not really believing his brother, and I guess that's where the conflict, because he goes to go open the door even though his brother's breaking down, but. Damn, I probably would have shot the dude afterwards too.
Yeah, you gotta die. You gotta die. Let's go on to our questions for this one. So,
but Josh, watch it in because
that
the voice you hear does not match up with what's in the box.
Oh, now I gotta,
Just watch the last 5 minutes.
I'm gonna do a full rewatch because my daughter was going nuts, so I did not get the experience.
Been there, done that. You got to shake them. They stop moving after you shake.
Oh yeah.
That is not a recommendation, everybody. I'm sorry. Please don't abuse your kids.
Oh man. So shake. First and foremost, we want to thank Josh for coming through and blessing us and doing the show with us. Again, guys, everybody remember to share, like, and follow us on all of our places on Headcanon Circus, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And like we said, we put up clips of the show. So if you want to listen to just one of our reviews, we'll have clips for that. So guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed what we brought to you all. If you did not enjoy what we brought to you all, you can always comment and tell us how terrible we are. And we'll read your comments on there. And we will still clap back, but we'll still read it. We'll still give you the pleasure of reading it. And Jason, Duke of All Nerds, any closing words?
Be kind, be considerate, and always tip your servers and bartenders 20%.